I just watched a little blurb on Isaac Newton on YouTube they recommended for me. Guys, it's right to be openly critical of people that do things that when someone you don't invent calculus. Okay, it's just or discover calculus. Okay, they said you discovered calculus? No, basically you're just looking at something that you perceive or exist, and you're trying to make sense of it. You're trying to label it or quantify it, right? So you're not discovering anything. You're just re-examining the way you express things or try to explain things. You're trying to explain it in a way that isn't mythology and makes more sense, right? Like he sit there and said that, Aristotle's my friend, Plato's my friend, but truth is my real friend. It's like truth is existence. You get people that well, but what about people that go into psychosis and have and believe it? Like what happened with John Nash, right? He had schizophrenic episodes, right? And then people, that's what yeah, I know, I'm having schizophrenic episodes when I talk to Suki into Jesus. And okay, yeah, I get it. I understand. I get that from lots of people. Okay. I have to know who they are. Okay. And I don't talk to them all the time. I talk to them when they're thinking of me and I'm thinking of them and we're communicating. And they're helping me through this current situation because the past, present, future operate at the same time. And life is eternal, His grace is infinite, right? And I'm Earl from the book of Revelation, right? So I have, it's like my poor dad, I was over there talking to him about Joseph Smith again. And I'm sitting there going, it makes me frustrated because I sit there and explain to him, Dad, I'm a history major. Okay. There is tons of evidence to support that Joseph Smith told stories about Native Americans encountering Europeans, and that when Joseph Smith was killed, that the people that killed Joseph Smith took the stories he told and flipped the script on him, made the Nephites the Nephites, and okay, the Native Americans are the ones they call the Nephites or whatever they call them, and the Lamanites are the Europeans. Okay, they flipped the script to make it better shine on people like them. Okay. There's tons of evidence. Okay, the story of More a Man and More a Man Than I, of the Mobile people, and the Peacemaker is More a Man Than I, who wandered far, very far from the south because of the disease from the Spanish Europeans and went up, and then they had the two societies with and so there's tons and tons and tons of evidence. Okay. Both verbal and written, to support the stories of Joseph Smith's stories in the Book of Mormon about encounters with good Native Americans with aggressive Europeans. Okay, do you understand? Okay. Tons of stories, lots of physical evidence. Okay. There's no physical evidence to support Lehi and Nephi and all the stuff that they changed it to make it Jewish, to fit their social political agendas. Okay. And so when I look at the Gospels and I see the Gospels, if it adds up, except if it doesn't, reject it. Okay. And, when they had that thing, Newton is quantifying mathematics through connections through people like himself. The apocalypse will happen in 2060 and the second coming of Christ. It's like, okay. And alchemy, and he killed himself early through working with alchemy. He poked himself in his own eye to perceive light differently. And so he was a lot like Sheldon. He was not an emotionally well person. Okay, he was looking at things differently because life was hard on him. And he needed an escape from his reality, and then he wanted a better perception of reality. If you sit there and you look at Sir Isaac Newton with the information that they just gave us on that 5-minute video on YouTube, right? And he killed people because they were mimicking other money for extortion for rich people to maintain the status quo. Could you see Jesus doing that? King David doing that? Okay. So if you're going to sit there and base off of the calculus and a scientist who read a book and is not a part of the narrative and can't sit there and explain, okay, 2 and 2 is 4, life's eternal, grace is infinite. You just see what I'm saying? So you don't want to base your perception of the future off of a person who's living a distorted and abusive and irrational present in his time, seeing our future as irrational and abusive and distorted as his present, and his past and the people from the past that tried to give them a better present and future by eliminating all the selfishness and the bullshit in the past, right? Do you understand? Is that calculus? I love Earl. I love Earl too. I get it. I understand people. I love him. I get it. And I love you. And the reason I do this is because I love you. It's not because I love myself. Okay? If I had to learn to love myself first, I'd shut up, take care of myself, and get ready for a really satisfactory sexual life. Right? Gotta learn to love myself first. No. I love people. Okay? And if you don't understand that, you have no idea what love is. Okay? Life is eternal, grace is infinite. Okay? Natural laws are provided by an infinite essence for us to have an eternal existence. Okay, that's very beautiful because we reflect a humble understanding of the natural laws required for us to live a life respecting those laws and loving one another through respecting those laws. Where does Sir Isaac Newton explain this in calculus when he's killing people because he's printing money that can maintain the status quo for the wealthy? And when he doesn't want to share his perception of what he thought was his idea, he wanted credit for, he attacks those people vehemently. And can you imagine giving a lecture to an empty room, okay, when you could go play EA Sports or go for a hike with Emily and Kate? That's just crazy. Okay. I'm going to go find me a girl, get busy, have kids, and go for a hike rather than give a lecture to an empty room because I've got ego problems. Okay? So are you acting like Isaac Newton? Are you acting like Sheldon Cooper, Smelly Pooper? Are you acting like, Feynman? I like him in a lot of ways, but he's just as broken and living in just as broken, accepted perception of what's considered civilization or society as the characters portrayed on The Big Bang Theory, right? And you guys will give your time away living vicariously through this pretense of Shakespearean comedy, tragedy, and romance through economics rather than stand up for the Lord's Prayer of me. There's nothing mysterious about it. You're just fucking wacko. Okay, do you guys get the calculus of the situation? Okay. I'm going to write numbers on a piece of paper and say I'm defining reality. Do you understand? So you can't do that. Okay? So don't examine anything. Just correct your perception of examination. There is no pass or fail. There is no test. There's no quiz or grade. You will not get a diploma, a PhD, or nada. You will live a life free from egotistical conflict. And people won't try to destroy the picture painted of your face. Okay, do you understand? Here's the tricky part. The Big Fig Newton. Okay, it's named after a town in Massachusetts, right? Okay, do you guys understand? Let's load this one up, and we'll see what we can help, people ascertain better today and see if there is no government. There's just a bunch of people manipulating you with money and technology that call themselves a government. It's just a bunch of assholes acting stupid because you're stupid enough to accept asshole as authority over your life. I'm not talking about anarchy. I'm talking about living the Lord's Prayer, dumbass. You share it. Wow. People won't ask you for, hey, you owe a mortgage on that house. They'll build you a house made out of Adobe that's built to last and healthier. And then you won't drive a car to a job. And then you won't have as much dust storms because you'll have better rain flow because you won't have a toxic environment that the rain doesn't support. Okay, tar pits with people driving cars, and I got to wash my car so it looks good. He's got to wash his car for it looks good. Okay, you got to put chemicals in the water so you have petroleum. And kids, when they have heart disease and brain cancer and thyroid cancer, it's because kids are being born with petroleum in them because they live in metroplexes where people have to get up in the morning, start the car, and go to a job to justify their existence, live here. But if you give your money to St. Jude, people don't have to pay money to. Well, money's not real. Tell the alarm clock I said fuck off. Let's save Donna Fargo's tatas, okay? And yours too. Those are baby feeders, not collection for petroleum because you have to start the car to pay an asshole to live here. Okay? Just be a tad bit more intelligent than people on TV commercials for health insurance. Because money's not real, but I am. Okay, guys? If you're being an asshole on TV and think you're doing something compassionate or intelligent and completely ignoring me, you need to be proven for the asshole that you are. Okay? Those are baby feeders, not money collectors for petroleum companies. All right, love you.